Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Game. Today we're going to be having a look at Overdosed, A Trip to Hell, which is a top-down shooter of some description in the Unreal 4 engine by Lazy Games, which is maybe not the best name for a developer. As usual, it gets 15 minutes right from the start to impress. Will it manage it? I guess we're about to find out. It's 15 minutes of game. Begins now. Alright. Let us begin. Supposedly, this is sort of LSD trip thingy. The variety of different font choices is disturbing. Alright, let's jump right into it and give it a shot. Well, this certainly does not look like it came from the Unreal 4 engine, but hey, the UI choice is a little bit strange, to say the least. I have no upgrades. Apparently I have 2 submachine guns of some sort, and a health meter and kind of a drug meter, I think? Hit E. Alright then. So I could buy weapons, at least I would be able to, which include a variety of different things. How many different font choices are you going to use in this game? You got one here, you got a different one here, you got a 2 different ones in the UI. Also, you can buy kebabs as a form of pickup. Alright, well, I can't use that, so down into the stage, I suppose? Activate 4 levers on the level to unlock the gate to the next stage. Alright. Well, we don't judge a game by its graphics. Thank God for that. Objective rooms look like that. Let's shoot things. Well, is there anything to shoot? Not so far. This is an objective room. Yay, here is a lever. We pulled it. You know, usually, it's a good idea to put enemies in your way when you have objective-based maps like this. Where are the enemies? Do we get no enemies? No shooting? Because isn't the shooting the kind of the point of this whole thing? I mean, I'm thrilled. The metal music in particular helps. This is very angry, angsty walking we've got going on right here. There's supposedly bonus objectives, not that... Ah, there aren't any on this mission, okay. It's weird you put the UI there anyway if there weren't. Well, this is intense. Oh! Angry spider thingies, alright. Finally, we got enemies. Why you'd have half your level not have any is a little bit weird. It's like, isn't that a little bit of a pacing problem you have there? Well... Sure is shooting things. And that is really all we're doing at the moment. And there's a kick button. I don't think that kick would really get much done, practically speaking. This is where we are. Alright. You know, I actually like games sort of like Crimson Land and Nation Red where you're killing a lot of enemies and things are splatting all over the place. Let's take some dodgy pills! Whatever that- I don't know what that was. It was a QuickTime event of some description. I have no idea what just happened. But I took some dodgy pills. Don't do that in Camden Market on a Friday night. Thank you very much. Because you may be forced to play awful video games. What a terrible thing that would be. Apparently I'm taking almost no damage from these things, which is convenient, I suppose. The game is also surprisingly, like, demanding. I'm seeing some frame rate spikes here and there, which are, for a game that looks like this, it's probably not justifiable. Also, please don't have your enemies be the same color as the blood on the ground. It does make distinguishing the two a little bit tricky. Also, the fact that there don't appear to be any weapon pickups or anything of the sort in the level itself, that you have to actually buy those later, means that the pacing of the level is not particularly great. Because usually you'd expect, alright, there's going to be more enemies, I'm going to get some power-ups. I mean, I did get the dodgy pills thing, which I failed to use properly, so I guess that could have had something to do with it. Like, oh, there might be a weapon pickup or a power-up or something like that. Not yet, anyway. This may also be the ugliest Unreal 4 game I've ever seen. Obviously, using a good engine does not guarantee... And I f***ed it up again, didn't I? Alright, so that slows you down if you screw it up, apparently. Yeah, you can see the slowdown bar to the bottom right there. And the thing is, there's no enemies coming at me, so this whole slowdown thing is just wasting my time. Oh, there we go. Unreal 4 this may be, it certainly does not look like it. It looks like a bad Unity game. Let's be completely frank and honest about that. Graphics do not maketh the game, but I'm trying to find sort of anything else that would justify playing it, and I'm not having a easy time of that. Alright, that takes us back here, and then what? Find and seal 4 enemy spawners. Welcome to stage 2, so I guess I can't even use those upgrades. I wonder if you have to go back to the surface or something. Should we try the dodgy pills again? Alright, we got them right this time. Kills give health. But there's nothing to kill, so it doesn't even matter. Why does this game feel like it's so gun-shy when it comes to throwing enemies at you? Like, half the level you walk through and nothing happens. Oh, this is dark. I can't see anything. It's like, hey, we're using the Unreal Engine. Better use some lighting effects here in some way. Oh, dear. Can't say I'm massively keen on this. Well, thanks for the useless power-up. It was great not to spawn any enemies whatsoever while I had that. That was wonderful. Very impressive. Ah, it's a slightly bigger model of the thing we fought earlier. You don't have to reload. You don't appear to have sort of any ammo of any description. You appear to have almost infinite health. You see, I'm almost taking no damage from these, even the big guy. Which I guess is fine, considering the sort of mob you and you don't really have a dodge roll or anything to get out of the way of them. You just have to walk backwards, but still. This isn't that interesting. Not in the slightest. Now, the idea seemed okay. It's like, ah, yes, you're on some, like, weird-ass LSD trip. And I don't mind the simple ideas of... Oh, great, mash the button. Why? I don't mind the simple idea of, hey, there's an excuse to just shoot things a lot. That's fine. That's not a bad thing. But the actual shooting itself isn't really all that engaging. There's not a lot to it. You do just hold the button down and walk backwards. There's no real skill involved in it. There's no dodging involved in it. And the game doesn't really start you with an interesting weapon. It feels more like a student project than anything else. Guess we're going that way. The levels also drag on a little bit too long as well. Now, the fact that I got that upgrade and then was sent on to the next level rather than going to a place where I could actually spend it, which may have made the combat a little bit more interesting, is, in my opinion, a bit of a mistake. Now, make the level shorter. Make sure that you punctuate those levels with upgrades that make the combat more interesting every time you go through it, rather than have you stuck with the same gun for multiple levels. It's probably the way to go with it. Objective Pit of Doom. Kick 10 enemies into the death pits. Alright then. Oh my, the kicking is absolutely terrible. It's also a good way to take a bunch of bonus damage. The kicks are limited in the number that you can do, but there's no indicator on the screen as to how many. The frame rate is actually dying here, by the way. Yes, I am running on GTX 1080s, and this game is killing my frame rate. Well, that was entertaining. By which I mean not at all. Well, at least it lets you return to the hub when you die. Which lets you buy an upgrade, I suppose. Upgrades 1, great. But only 300 cash, so I can't even buy a basic weapon. And there actually aren't all that many weapons anyway. Upgrades. Unsurprisingly, it's a bunch of boring stats. This UI is terrible. Absolutely awful. And you need 4 upgrades to get that? So I can't even do anything with the upgrades that I got. Great! Lovely. So that's actually a stamina bar down there, that random drug paraphernalia for whatever reason. That's it, basically, I think. You get an upgrade, you go down, and... I don't have any interest in continuing to play this. Like, it's astonishingly dull. Very repetitive and not very well put together. You know, it seems like a very, very basic kind of student project, the sort of thing that you do while studying game design. Create a very basic horde-based shooter, put some upgrades in it, learn a little bit about level design and pacing. I mean, this game does need to learn a little bit about level design and pacing, because it doesn't have any of either. The use of the engine, I guess, is reasonable. You know, it's assuming that everything on Unreal 4 is going to look incredible is not really realistic. It's not bad to make a game that doesn't look awesome on the Unreal Engine, considering how ubiquitous it is, but simultaneously, there's nothing about the graphic style that inspires. You know, it's grimy, it's dull, it looks 10 years out of date. The enemy models are incredibly generic, and it's not very well coded either. I mean, in a horde-like situation, it tanks my frame rate. In a game that looks like this on a GTX 1080, come on, really? I don't think so. I'm not going to play any more of this. This is not going to get any better, I don't think. This is clearly a waste of time. It gets 10 minutes. 10 minutes was quite enough for me to decide I don't want to play anymore, thank you very much. That goes by the name of Overdosed. No. No thank you. It's available on Steam, but I'm afraid I'm out of patience with that one. God, oh, it's a font clown fiesta. How many different fonts can we jam into one game user interface? Please stop. Learn Photoshop, then come back. I'm done with that. No, absolutely not. My name's been TotalBiscuit. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not even going to ask you to like this nonsense. I'll see you next time.